Hey guys, so someone once commented that I must be lying about all the things that have failed because no one could possibly have so many things fall through in their life. And that was probably before IVF fell through, and it was before embryo adoption fell through, and it was definitely before my India agency lost their license and my India adoption fell apart. Yeah. That is what's currently going on. I'm basically screwed at this point. So, agency's license expired at the end of June. They didn't tell me. They didn't tell anyone. They tried to get it back. Last I heard was in October, when they said they stopped, they weren't taking on new clients. Good for them. I'm happy they at least decided to do that. But at this point, I was already a client. I was already invested emotionally and financially in them. And at that time, they told me, when I questioned it, that don't worry, everything's fine. The Ontario government's involved, and it's going to get sorted out any day now. They registered me, saying, don't worry, registration's going to happen, there's no problems, we're going to register you, once you're approved, you'll get a match, this isn't affecting anything. Now, I'm finding out that they're currently in the court system with India, so they haven't had it completely revoked at this point in time. They will find out soon their fate and the fate of all their clients as well. But at this point, it's not looking good, considering the Ontario government was involved and India said nope. India is currently telling people who had their registration before June that they are okay for the registration, that their registrations will be valid. However, anyone registered after June, I think it's June 29th, I don't know the exact date, I have it written down somewhere. That would be me. So October 24th, when I was registered, our registrations are invalid. Because my agency doesn't have a license during that time. So yeah, and India is telling everyone they need to switch agencies because my agency is not getting their license back. So, this leaves me with a few different options. The first option is to say frack everything and just go on a long vacation and live my life child-free. If you've been with me the past 6 years, you know that's not going to happen because I can't stop. My second option is to, once a decision has been made, to switch to a different agency for India. My agency asked me to give them 20 days because I sent them a very firm email stating my frustration with not being informed any of this. I'm being informed through third parties in India, and I'm getting information from everybody but them. And the fact that they've continued to take my money, they've taken my paperwork, they've registered me, even though they knew it was invalid. And I questioned, well, okay, if you get your license back, is my registration even valid? And they're like, well, it should be. So they registered me, knowing that even if they got their license back, it still might not be valid. Should be is not yes it is. So anyway, so my second option is, if they do lose it, to switch agencies. So I have talked with 2 agencies in Ontario. There's one in BC, but they have yet to get back to me, which I don't like that, because to me that's like, if you're not getting back to me now, how is it going to be when I'm a client? So I don't like really either of those agencies. But there's a reason why I chose the agency I did, and that's because they had a very long history with India. They've been working with India for a very long time. They've done so much experience working with India and with adoption in general. And then this stuff happens, which, if If you've been following me, this is my luck. This is my luck. I swear. I probably am the reason that all this is happening because it's my luck. So anyway, so I can switch agencies. However, what I've seen in the US when agencies lose accreditation, it takes a very long time for files to get transferred over, like 6 months plus, because you have this old agency trying to dish out their files to a new agency, which is trying to deal with their current clients, these transfers, plus any new clients they take on. So the clients that are being transferred kind of just get shoved to the bottom of the pile, and they get worked on when they get worked on. So with my registration not being valid, I am just sitting around waiting to get my file transferred, which I'm going to say is going to be at least 6 months. And then I'll finally get registered, hopefully, again. And then I wait for another 6 months for approval. Like, I'm looking at probably 3 to 4 years before getting a child home through India at this point. India is so painfully slow. And there's pockets of times when it looks like a lot of things are happening, but they are so backlogged, I don't think they are ever going to catch up. They said they would catch up by November. It's now December, and they are not caught up. They said they would catch up to normal wait times. So it's not happening. And things are getting worse at other ends. Like before, once you had a match, you were just waiting for a no objection certificate. Now, in between match and no objection certificate, there's this committee that's going on that, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the stupidest name ever. I'm going to say like the relaxation committee or something like that. But basically it's a committee that's taking kids that are kind of like borderline for special needs and being like, oh wait, I'm going to take that match back because they're not high enough needs yet, and we're going to put them back in the domestic pool. Even though domestically they've been passed over 1,000,000 times, we're still going to try one more time over there. So people have been losing their matches. People have been sitting at this committee for months and months and months. And there's lack of communication, and things are just super slow. Those that finally do get the no objection certificate, NOC, they are then, it used to be like one court hearing, you passed, maybe 2 if you were unlucky. You would pass and you would move on with your life. Now I'm seeing more and more trends of 5, 6, 7 hearings, sometimes a month or more between hearings, where judges are just stringing the case along endlessly. So things are not happening smoothly, and it's just a complete mess. So if my agency's license goes through and everything is okay, I'm still dealing with all that BS, but I'm just gonna whatever it. I'm still never gonna trust my agency again. I'm still not gonna be happy with India, but I'll just deal with it because I chose to go that route, and if their license gets renewed, there's no reason for me not to. However, if their license is revoked, which it's, like I said, it's highly likely, as much as they're trying to downplay it, I don't think they're going to get their license back. So my other option is to switch programs. So if you've been following my journey, I originally was planning on adopting from Bulgaria. I met with the Bulgarian agency in 2015. I talked with them again in 2016. I talked with them briefly in 2017, and then I consulted with the India agency 2017, and I went, I feel called to India. So I decided to go ahead with India because I felt very drawn to them. I felt drawn to the culture. I felt drawn to the program. Things were going smoothly. Things were getting better and better and better and faster and faster. And there was only one trip, and there was just a whole lot of great things going on with the program. And it seemed to be moving into a great direction. The horribleness that has been happening was only after my home study was approved. Which is why I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fault. So anyway, there was no indications of things going downhill. Like I said, my agency has been working with India for forever, so there was no thought for me to be like, oh, well, my agency is going to lose accreditation, or my agency is going to have issues, or whatever, or India is going to shut down, or any of that. I never thought any of this would be happening, because it was a stable program. It's a Hague program, Hague country. It's like more regulated than non-Hague. Things have been improving with Kara, and now it's just a complete mess. Anyway, so my other option is to go back to Bulgaria. Bulgaria is very wide open for their requirements, so they are much more accepting and much less picky. There's very, very few countries that I qualify these days, and that's the reality of things, unfortunately. So if I go back to Bulgaria, I will have to redo my home study. Pretty much all of it. Well, I don't want to say all of it. I have to have my home study rewritten. And at first I'm like, India's written like 4 or 5 times, change that to Bulgaria and we're done. But each country has their own requirements on how they want their home study laid out, what they want included in a home study, all that kind of thing. So my home study has to be completely rewritten. It's easier for me to move cities even and update my home study than it is for me to update my country. So I have to reapply to Alberta to say that I'm no longer adopting from India, I'm adopting from Bulgaria. Then I have to redo my home study. So I'm going to start the paperwork for Bulgaria, for Alberta services now, so that on December 21st, if I either haven't heard from my agency or my agency says they have had their license revoked, or if I hear through the grapevine they've had it revoked, I can submit immediately, no matter when that is. They said give them 15 to 20 days. So I said, okay, I'll give you the 20 days. But it could happen sooner than that. So I'm going to have that ready to go. And then I financially will have the ability to do my new home study right away. They shouldn't have to do home visits, because all, like, saying to someone, my childhood hasn't changed since October. There's so much in that report that hasn't changed since October. My past has not changed since October. So there's no like reason to change any of it. So I'm hoping that that process will be smoother. I will have to go through adoption services again and get it approved by them. But even with all the changes, it's still going to be shorter to do that than to transfer my file. I will have provincial approval and my dossier ready for Bulgaria before I'm ready to register with India. And here's the other thing. Bulgaria is 30 days from receiving my dossier to registration. India right now is at least 3 months. So there's slowdowns with that. And then Bulgaria, the biggest unknown is how long I'll wait for a referral. I'm consulting with the Bulgaria agency on Wednesday, but she seems very optimistic. So we'll see. The referral time is the big unknown. But post-referral is very, very structured and very consistent in Bulgaria. And the process before is very structured in Bulgaria. So it's not like India, where one judge is making you do 20 hearings and this judge is making you do 2. So it's not like that in India or in Bulgaria. And in India, there's times when parents are physically going for court and physically having 4 or 5 hearings in person. And it's like they go for court and they're told come back in 3 days. Go for court, come back in 3 days. Like it's bullshit at this point. Anyway, I don't want this to be a venting video. I just want to state the facts. Anyway, so I would switch my home study over and then get the ball rolling for that. Now, I know the biggest thing that everyone's going to ask is money. What does this mean financially? So, I will lose out on money. Even if my agency, if I just transfer agencies to another India agency, I will lose money. The only scenario that I don't lose money is if their license is reissued and my registration is still valid. Even the scenario where they get their license back, but my registration is invalid and I have to re-register with them, I still lose money, because I am at the point now where my documents are starting to expire and I'm going to have them redone, which anytime you redo documents, that costs money. And that's why even if their license is revoked and I switch agencies, I lose money, because I lose money on redoing my documents. Plus, a lot of those agencies are a lot more expensive. And I have a reduced payment plan with my, like a fee reduction with the current agency, and I have a payment plan with them. So they have been very, like, accommodating to me and helping me out. I will not expect that from another agency. Financially at this point, it's not an issue because everything's taking so long that whatever. So anyway, switching to Bulgaria, my agency has said they will return me my orphanage fee that I've paid them. I canceled my last payment because they hadn't accepted. I do email money transfers and they hadn't accepted it yet. So I canceled that right as soon as the shit was hitting the fan. And I said, until you tell me what's going on and I know that nothing bad is happening, I am not sending you any more money. And then in my other email, I said, I want my orphanage fee back and I want my registration fee back. Because my registration is invalid, therefore you should have never registered me knowing it was invalid. Give me my money back. So that's when they said, please give us 15 to 20 days to have this sorted out and then make a decision. And I said, yes, that's fine. Because I don't want to jump ship and then 5 days from now their license get reissued. And then I've just, like, kicked myself. And so, like someone was saying about, like, having, like, when you're in the grocery store and this line is really slow and the cashier's having problems, so you move over to this line and then suddenly this one's moving slow. So I didn't want to put myself in a scenario where I switched prematurely and then put myself when I should have just stayed where I was, kind of thing. So I said 20 days or when I hear bad news. I will not wait past that 20 days because they've been stringing their clients along since June saying it's not a problem, not a problem, not a problem. So come December 20th, technically the 20 days is up on like the 28th, but I'm going to say December 20th. So come December 20th, if I do not hear from them, I am contacting them again saying, give me my money back. So they said they will give me my money back for those two things. The orphanage fee, they have to. It's money in trust. That has not gone to anything. They legally need to give that back. And the registration fee, they didn't do any work. That was valid. So they need to give me that back. I will lose on all my documents, all my reports that I had to pay for, my psych eval, all my postage. I lose out on all that. I will also lose out on my registration fee to them because I was registered with them. It's the registration fee to India that I'm getting back. And I will lose out on my home study and everything that went along with that. To a point. For me to do my new home study, it is cheaper, but not that much cheaper. But at this point, I'm just like, whatever, just take my money, give me a freaking kid. But I financially will be able to submit for my new home study right away. There will be no delays with that. And that's why I want to make sure that I have my Alberta approval ready to go, so that way it can be like boom, 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 boom. I'm probably going to be paying a small fortune in Purelator and UPS fees, because of the fact that Canada Post is extremely slow and having a lot of issues right now due to striking and backlog from that. But at this point, I'm like, whatever, just take my money. I could care less. I mean, I probably could care less, but anyway, so yeah, so I would have to redo my home study, which I'm hoping, especially given my situation, that my agency realizes, like, they need to hurry up and not, I don't want any delays. Like, from the moment that my home study was approved to the moment I got it was like 2 weeks, which was ridiculous. And then by the time, like, I had a quick turnaround when I got my home study. I signed it and sent it back, and that was like 24 hours, and that's how it should have been. Like, there should have been no slow things. And then for them to send it to adoption services took them forever too. So I need them to be, like, on the ball, and I'm going to really push for that, being like, look, this needs to happen as fast as you possibly can. No delays. Like, I can't afford any more delays. So I'm hoping that within 6 months from now, I should say 6 months from when I submit to adoption services my request for adoption. Within 6 months, I have my new home study. So I'm hoping by the end of June, I will have my new home study. By the end of July, I'm hoping Bulgaria will have all that, which means by the end of August, I will be registered with Bulgaria. And then my wait starts for Bulgaria. Where was I going? Oh, finances, that's where we were going. The money that I'm getting back will cover my new home study and my registration with Bulgaria. Bulgaria is also very spaced out with their fees. Bulgaria is 1 fee to get started, 1 fee to register, 1 fee referral, 1 fee to bring your kid home. So there's 4 different chunks of fees. With India, it's 1 fee to get started, 1 fee to register, 1 fee referral. And everything is due at referral. There is no after referral fee. And that's why I arranged it with my agency to have my fees a little more spaced out, because I'm like, at referral, that's a huge chunk of change to have to come up with. Whereas with Bulgaria, it's much more spaced out. So I have the startup fee, and I have I have the startup fee and the registration fee, and I have some of the referral fee. But by the time I'm done my home study, I will have that referral fee. And then from referral to home looks to be about 7 or 8 months. You have 2 trips with Bulgaria. You have the first trip, and I'm not sure if the referral fee means when you're first given the referral or when you officially accept the referral. Because in order to officially accept the referral, you have to go meet them first, and you do the official referral stuff in Bulgaria. So I don't know when that official referral fee is due, but either way, I'll have like a third of that already by the time, just from the money that I'm getting back. So by the time I actually get a referral, which who knows when that will be, sometime end of 2019, sometime 2020, then I will have that money, no problem. So anyway, so then I pay that, and then, so I use 2 trips, but honestly, the 2 trips to India, or the 1 trip to India was more money than 2 trips to Bulgaria, so my travel expenses are actually going to be roughly the same, which is ridiculous, but India was longer and the flights were more expensive, whereas Bulgaria, unfortunately Bulgaria has like 5 million stopovers, but hotels are about the same, but the flights are a lot cheaper, and I'm staying in hotels for a short amount of time in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is 2 trips of about 7 days each, whereas India is 1 trip of between 10 days and 1 month. But hotels are so cheap that it didn't really matter. Bulgaria, there's also a lot more hand-holding from what I've talked to people. India, it's kind of like you're on your own, you book your own hotel, you book your own flights, when you arrive there, you are on your own. Whereas Bulgaria seems to have a little more hand-holding, where they're there, your non-government organization, your NGO, helps you out with getting you here and there and figuring things out, and stuff like that. So anyway, my life is not happening the way I thought it would for the 100th time. So anyway, I'm posting this video today because I'm hoping to do a video on Monday to get some of the other questions answered. So if you have questions, please post them down below. Honestly, if something happens to Bulgaria, which has been a stable program for I don't know how long, but a really long time, and the agency I'm going with is like one of the best and has been around for a very long time, and they're with a great NGO, and there's no reason for Bulgaria not to work. If something happens with Bulgaria, I am done. I have no other options. I'm just done. So anyway, if you have questions, please post them down below, so I can do a better, less all over the place video of what happens next if I transfer to Bulgaria. My option for transferring to another India agency, like I said, is not really an option because it's going to take me forever, and Bulgaria is actually going to be cheaper and faster than doing that. So it's just more paperwork. It's more work to switch, but in terms of time and money, Bulgaria is actually faster. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling out on my journey. If you want to help me out right now, please, 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 there's a link in the description box below to Eden's grant. I am fundraising for Eden. I only have until the end of this month, possibly till the 25th, but I feel like till the end of the month to raise another $800. So please, 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 if you have $5, please donate to her grant. I would really like to get her grant to $1,000 by the end of this month. We are 1 month into the Miracle of Adoption Christmas campaign, and there's like $200 in there. So I'm slacking. I'm really slacking. So please go donate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you guys later. Bye, guys.